and welcome to our panel about communications and aquaculture and aquarium sciences. Today we'll talk about aquaculture and aquarium sciences and what that is, and then we'll talk about communications and what that is. Finally, we will talk about how the two majors interact and why we think they are important.
So just to say a little about ourselves, hello, my name is Tim, I'm the AQS major leader. To talk a little bit about my relationship with the major, I knew about aquaculture in middle school when a neighboring high school that offers a program to go there for like half the day to take science courses at their school. They gave a presentation at my middle school to, drum up support, and I fell in love with aquaculture since then, and I've been working on trying to get into the aquaculture industry since pretty much middle school. And so when I graduate, I hope I'm able to, work in that field.
Hello, my name is Caden, and I got into communications major due to my love of sports and being behind the camera, just seeing what I can create within sports and being able to create my own content that is sports related for teams and athletes, like promotional videos. And after I graduate, I want to plan on working with college sports teams or pro teams and their media team.
Hi, my name is Kaylee Duncan. I am a communications major in a production concentration. My dad was in the film industry and he worked on movies, so it was something that I was exposed to from a very young age. I was always curious how we got from A to B, from that raw footage to the magical films we see. So ultimately, I hope to one day be a part of films that educate and inspire people. Communications is especially important to me because I want to be a documentary filmmaker who tells stories about wildlife and climate change. I believe powerful visual storytelling can connect people emotionally to the natural world and make complex environmental stories and issues more understandable and urgent.
So to lay out some groundwork on what each major is, aquaculture and aquarium sciences focuses on growing and raising various different aquatic species, from fish to shellfish to seaweed. What they do with those fish or with those organisms depends on what it is. Aquaculture usually raises them for food, to eat, while aquariums usually keep them for education and ornamentation reasons.
A brief overview of the communications major is basically about learning how people share information through things like talking, writing, media, and social media.
Finally, we'll talk about a couple of the ways that the two majors overlap. The first one that comes to my mind is about how aquaculture gets a pretty bad PR rep. Most people across the nation think of aquaculture facilities as being dirty and more harmful to the environment compared to wild-caught seafood, and that's just incorrect. But that stereotype still exists, and the communications is the way that you change that stereotype. So getting communication people to help with that is, the way to go.
Communications is also very important for increasing sales for aquaculture and getting people to eat more seafood in general. Agriculture facilities are business looking to sell fish. Like most companies, they need to create and grow a customer base. In addition, not enough people eat fish. The FDA recommends people eat fish about 2 times per week. Getting that across is a great application of communications.
Communications also plays a large role in running aquariums. Aquariums rely a lot on guest interactions and optics in order to draw guests and inform guests about ongoings at the aquariums, such as new exhibits and new animals.
Aquarists, who are the people who take care of the fish at the aquarium, also need to have a firm grasp on the basics of communication, because they're pretty much the first people that guests turn to when they have questions. So being able to interface with the public is really important in that context.
Aquarists also play a role in creating exhibits in the aquarium, which require a lot of background in graphic design and understanding of how to communicate information to people.
Aquariums often have the goal of building some kind of relationship between their guests and the natural world. They usually encourage And protecting the environment and getting that point across requires strong communication skills.
Finally, I think we'll leave off with why we each think our majors are important. So for me, the thing that comes to mind the most about aquaculture is the way that it can help relieve pressure from like overfishing pressures. In a lot of aquatic ecosystems, especially in the ocean, overfishing causes permanent damage to most environments, and aquaculture offers a way to get that important seafood, which is a staple across many cultures across the world, without the harmful practices that are causing the overfishing in the first place.
An example of communications in the real world, for example, is like if a problem happens at a company, like a mistake or an issue or bad news, a communications major helps explain what's going on in a claim. Honest way to so people don't freak out overall, and they help protect the company's image.
So there's a lot of great examples to talk about with communications. So my example isn't set in stone yet, but right now I want to talk about natural disasters and why communications is important when dealing with natural disasters. Timely communication can save lives, and keeping people informed and guiding in emergency responses. An example of this is Cyclone Philan, which was a massive storm comparable to Hurricane Katrina, and it was expected to cause widespread destruction, but unlike past disasters, this time over 1 million people were safely evacuated before the storm made landfall because of early warnings, accurate forecasting, and clear communication. Despite the size of the storm, the death toll was under 50, which was incredibly low compared to past disasters of similar scale. That's all we have today, and thank you for listening.
Alright, so if anyone wants to stay up there for a sec, I'll let you collect your stuff when you come out, but in the interest of clarity and being able to hear, what things can we say? Maxine, what do you want to share with this group?
So I got to watch your